So today I'm trying out to play two tables at regular 25 NL, so not Zoom tables, because I just want to see how this works for you guys on stream, and I'm going to 3-bet here with Jack-7 suited as my first hand on the left table, and on the right I'm folding King-7 off on the button, and we do get the fold, so it's a good start. Jack-7 suited is not necessarily a hand that you have to 3-bet there, but I thought it is a good one to do so. And now we got our second win, and we got playable hands on both tables. Look at this. Queen Jack suited, this is an annoying one. Now on the left I will definitely raise. Here I would normally 3-bet, but this is a short stacker, only 45 big blinds, and with a hand like Queen Jack suited I don't want to really raise. I prefer to play it with a smaller SPR, and I didn't want to call because I don't know how aggressive the players behind me are, so I thought I would just fold there. So yeah, the advantage, oh look, now I would have actually made a straight on this one with my Queen Jack, so it's a bit annoying, but hey, what can you do? So yeah, the advantage here is that we get a lot more information, and look at this, he had ace-5 off, he raised, so we get a lot more information, we have time to take notes, so here I can say raised, wait, first we need to raise here, and fold this one, raised ace-5-0 from low jack, and I think I can give him the tag of not being a crusher. And on this table we have a short stacker who goes pretty big after I raise, so definitely folding my King-9 suited. Don't be tempted to call in such a spot. This is definitely a losing play, because especially because he made it so big. Like normally he should have made it something like, oh, sorry, I just need to concentrate. Queen-9 off, I think I will just fold this one. So yeah, normally if you raise 2.2, he should make it something like 6.6. And if he makes it 8, then I would fold a bit more anyway. And if he is a short stacker and we were low jack versus high jack, so all of that suggests that we should absolutely fold to that 3-bet out of position. Pocket tens in the big blind, but let's see if the small blind opens after everyone else has folded. Yeah, it does open, so this is an easy one to go for the 3-bet. And if we get 4-bet, which, yeah, I think there is a good, I thought there was a good chance of that happening. So with this hand, I have to go all in. I don't love it, but yeah, that's okay. Tens versus ace-king, that is all right. And there's the king. And there's the ace, but there's also a 10. Okay, so I can live with that. Even though, as you see, I mean, we chop, but still we both lost $1 each. So that's the problem with low stakes games, that you just pay a lot of rake. So even though we chopped it, I had to pay rake, although I mean chopped it was because we ran it twice, it wasn't a genuine chop. But I'm okay with how we played it. Ace Queen suited, we raise that. 5-6 suited, I don't want to 3-bet on the button. Although, I mean, I just 3-bet him and then 5-bet him with pocket tens. But I think that's alright. So let's see. We get called 9-9-4. We could go for the C-bet if he checks, which I assume he will. or we can check ourselves. I think it's fine. We have a good ace high. We could, of course, have bet and got him to fold something, but I think this is okay now. And since we now have the ace high is actually quite good, although we might chop against his ace high, but I don't see a reason to bet at this point. And the flush comes in, the jack comes, is not happy about it, but I will definitely just check this one down and look at this. Well, if I had bet, I would have gotten him off it. He had so few outs, but he got there in the end. I mean, yeah, you can of course say that I allowed him to get there, and if I had known that he had Jack 5, well, I might still not even have bet there because I would have wanted him to bluff. Here on the right, we can definitely fold our King 4 off against the small blind raise. Queen 6 off, definitely a fold. 9-3 off will definitely be a fold. Yeah, so I think actually he made a mistake there on the river with his Jack 5. Once he hit the Jack, he should have bet there because it was quite likely that I had some sort of showdown value, and so he could have blocked the river and possibly even gone a little bigger, and I would have had to call there with my ace high. But yeah, I think I played it fine to just check down the ace queen on that board. No need to do anything crazy. I will still tag the hand to analyze it later to see if I could have done something else, but I think I'm happy with it. So I have pocket deuces, which I mean, can we? I'm not going to 3-bet. We could have 3-bet. I think it's a low frequency. And look at this. We would have hit the bottom set, and I was just considering flatting just because the small blind was going to be in the hand, and it's just such a shame, but we didn't know, obviously, and I think there's nothing wrong with folding pocket deuces pre-flop once someone raises, even though I had possession on the button. But I think that was okay. But yeah, we would have hit the flop quite well several times now, but unfortunately we weren't in the hand. Queen 10 off in this position in the right table, just a little bit too early. I'm not going to do that. So yeah, I've been having problems with color labels. So as you can see here on the right table, I've marked him, I've labeled this guy red, but then he comes up as yellow, and I don't know why, but I can't seem to change that, so that's a bit of a shame. Well, this is interesting. So we got this player now. Check, not check raising, just min raising. 10-7 suited, not going to play. Okay, so this is on the left table. I'm watching. This seems to be quite interesting. And he checked behind after he raised the flop. So let's see, and now he shoves for a pot-sized bet when the flush and the straight come in. Yeah, shame. I won't see what he had. Would have been quite interesting to see that. Okay, so yeah, so this does seem to be a bit of an action player, and I'm pretty sure that he's not a crusher, so I will give him the red tag for now. Might even be a purple tag, who are the true non-crushers, but I don't know this for certain at this point. So I will give him the red one. On the right table, I can definitely call with pocket threes against a cutoff raise. And this time we do not flop a set. If he c-bets, and we have a pair below the 3 cards on the board, we have some sort of a backdoor, but I'm not in love with this one. So here on the right, I am going to go for the 3-bet. So I know I've been raising quite a bit, but I think that's fine. I am going to go with a small c-bet, and on the right table 9-7 suited is a fold, and on the left one we do get it through with our weak ace high. So on the left table I would have considered limping in this particular case just to play a pot against the big blind, and with 5-4 offsuit that would have been worth it to pay half a big blind because I don't think he would have necessarily raised there. But obviously once hijack raises, button 3-bets, I have absolutely no business being in that pot. I mean, I wouldn't even have if there had been just one raise. And this is developing to become a big one. Oh yeah, and here on the right we can now change it. I am going to isolate this player with my queen 9 suited. It is a little bit thin, but I think it's fine, and I have changed the label now because he limped. On the right I'm gonna fold 7-4. Oh, on the left, yeah. On the right I'm going to c-bet small, even though I don't have much going for me, and we get called, unfortunately. Can we double barrel this? Well, we don't even get there because he now bets, so I think then we have an easy fold against this donk on the turn. We had our chance, so first we had the chance pre-flop because I thought there is a good chance that he folds out whatever nonsense he had. Once he calls, then on this board, what was it, Jack, 6, deuce, rainbow, I thought that if he didn't connect at all, I could get him to fold again. Once he doesn't do that, I think it's time to give up, and that is all right. On the left, that's interesting, check raise. So yeah, you can tell that there are quite a few players who are regs. I'm going to tag them. Now the ones where I'm pretty certain that they are. This player here is 13-11, so it might not be a proper reg. Ooh, this is interesting. This player has 2 pair, the other one had a gut shot and a flush draw. So that's why the action developed as it did. Now I'm getting 3-bet by a player who seems rather tight, but even if not, this is not a hand I can continue with. Or I can actually continue with, but I don't want to because it's break even, and especially if I don't have any information about them being out of position. He also made it quite big, so there are quite a few factors involved that make me think that I do not want to be involved for any longer into that hand. Yes, we're not doing super well in these early stages, but I think it's okay. We just got a bit unlucky that we would have flopped really big hands twice when we just weren't involved in the pot. But I guess that's poker. You gotta be in it to win it. And we were not. Instead, we were in it when other players had better hands or they bluffed us out. But not to worry. It's early days. We've only played like 46 hands across the 2 tables. So that's all fine. Okay, so now I'm now I'm certain that he is a non-crusher once he limps. And now this guy limps behind, but this doesn't mean anything. He could still be a good player. We're getting to see a free flop with our 8 deuce, and we are going to most likely give up unless we improve on the turn. if we get to see a free turn, which we might do. Yeah, we do. Okay, we do not improve, so I think I will just check this one again. On the right table, at 9 suited would have been a possibility to continue without the squeeze, just because we had the fish in there, and so maybe we could have called, but I still think it's probably best to just fold. Ooh, and now we're seeing the 4 bet after the squeeze. Okay, he had pocket deuces and he had ace 9. That's interesting. So I think I could probably have gotten both of them off if I had tried to, but that's fine. Good to know. There, so let's say open limped with ace 9 off in low jack. Okay, now definitely folding. He made it 4x. I mean, not that I would have called 10-4 offsuit if he had made it any smaller. This is an interesting board. We would have had a straight flush draw with our 5 of clubs. Yeah, not many playable hands on the right table. Okay, king jack off. This will be a continue. So we can now call and see a flop, which is not amazing. But he should actually check quite a bit, which he does, because I think he's a reg. And because of that, I can also check. I could, of course, go for the skipped, after the skipped c-bet for a bet, but the reason why he skipped it was because I think he is a competent player, not because he doesn't have anything. So now we have top pair. We are obviously going to call. And I do not love this river, mainly because the flush comes in, but also it pairs the board, although I'm not too worried about that actually. But the flush coming in is really not great. And he makes it fairly small now. And the thing is, we are in bluff catching mode. Obviously, we do not have any value beater. Like, or do we? Like some weaker jack, maybe, but I think he wouldn't even have done that. But we're getting, what is it, 3 from 4-ish to 1. There's 20% that we need to be good. We will lose, but it's a close one. So actually, we will not lose. Look at this, 5.4x on the left, folding definitely. Yeah, so he almost got me there because I just thought that he just wouldn't bluff, but he just gave me such good odds that I had to call, and I was right to do so. Ace 8 suited. I will fold, but because he's a bit of a non-crusher, I considered calling there. But yeah, I don't know. Would you have called with King Jack in that spot? That's actually a very interesting one, and I am going to run this one past GTO Wizard later. Because he made it so small. Had he made it bigger, I would have called, but I think that it wasn't a bad bet size because he kind of really tried to get everything to fold that's not a spade. And maybe I should have folded that hand. So I don't think now, like being results oriented, I can say, yes, I should obviously call there. And why did I even take so long? But I think it actually is a very close one. And I'm not sure if I was supposed to call there. But that's why we can check that in GTO Wizard after the stream. 9-4 suited, definitely folding. With ace-9 suited, got unlucky that we got no action at all. But then again, not super unlucky. I'm okay with that. Because we did win the pot, uncontested. 9-3 suited. Ugh, this is just like, really, do I want to? I will just fold it. Yes, I could have limped, but the thing is, what can I do afterwards? I don't think I can really bluff him out of the pot, and I have to hit very hard. I'm out of position with a hand that's really not great. This is also an interesting one now, but I will fold my pocket threes. And at least we didn't hit a set this time, but I kind of suspected that this guy might call. He did call, he donked for pot, and the guy snap folded. So, interesting one. Yeah, so here you can just observe the players much better than in Zoom. I just really prefer to play this. This is a lot more like live poker as well, where you can just really focus on players' tendencies and what they do wrong, which you can't really do in Zoom. Zoom is really good for getting in a lot of hands, and it's good to play on stream, but I think actually these regular tables are much better. On the right, we now get the walk. Pocket sixes in the small blind. If he calls, which he does, I will now call as well. There is a chance, of course, that the big blind will squeeze, but this was worth it. And unfortunately, we do not hit a set. And the turn does not improve us. No reason to go for a bluff against two players. And sadly, now we will have to fold. But we can see what the others are doing. Ooh, he overbets really big, so that means against the fish, I would guess that he probably has a flush. I don't think he would overbet with a set or two pair, so it's either a bluff or a flush. And against a fish, I would guess that it's probably more on the flush side. But then he would have had to bluff the turn, which is also possible. But if he can bluff the turn, maybe he can also overbet bluff the river. Queen 7 suited on the left, very borderline. We can. I'll just fold this one. I mean, I know it looks very nitty, but it's fine. Okay, King 10 off. Definitely gonna raise if we get the chance to. We do not, and it's not good enough to 3-bet, and I don't want to call. So fold is the only option. So obviously we're playing fewer hands than we would have if this were Zoom, but at least we have two tables going. Let me know if you would like me to add maybe even a third one, or let me know in general what you think about me playing regular tables, whether you'd like something that's more action heavy. I'm folding 9-8 suited, although actually I should have. Now I just didn't consider that we had a fish in the big blind. I would have raised otherwise, but normally I don't like raising these suited connectors from early-ish positions. Ooh, quite some action going on here, and pocket sixes against pocket kings. Interesting one, and the player with the sixes holds. That's good for me, because otherwise he might have left. So that's very good that he doubled up there. I didn't quite see the action. can just re-watch this. This is also something that you just wouldn't have time to do in a Zoom game, but here you can re-watch the action. So let's see. We had a raise, a 3-bet. Oh, so he cold called the 3-bet with pocket sixes, and then small SPR. He made a small c-bet, and he practically jams, even though it didn't really jam. Definitely folding 10-5 offsuit here. And then would I have called with pocket kings there? Yeah, I don't think you can. Like with an SPR of 2 on this board, even though he did cold call there, so I'm pretty sure that, yeah, not pretty sure, but there is a high probability that you lose if you call or jam with pocket kings, but then again, you just can't go folding against, even though he's a passive player, but you still can't fold that, in my opinion. So I don't really fold the guy here, young Sachi. 7-8 off, folding, and this is an interesting raise size choice. Does suggest that he might not be a crusher. We have pocket tens, which we will obviously raise on the right table. So I'd be curious to see, and we do get to see. So he had king 10, and this guy just, okay, so he's capable of bluffing when he misses a flush draw. And on this one, I can tag him raise to 4.4x with king 10 off. Is this even the same player? Yeah, this is the guy on the button. Oh, but this was maybe, sorry, no, I think this was actually right. This was not as unusual as I thought it was, because I think our friend limped, and then it's okay to do that. We can raise. Okay, I will delete this, and I will give him the tag of being a reg. King queen off. We will play whether as a raise or a 3-bet. Raise it is, and we'll make it 2.2. But our friend on the button decided not to call. Let's see if the big blind obliges. He does. Ace 5-3 is not a board that I would like to range bet, but I will still bet it, and I will actually make it a little smaller than the third pot, just because I think I can clean out a lot of equity. Yeah, that's what's happening. Something like Jack 10, 9-8, whatever. I'm really happy if I can fold out any hand with my king high, even though I can't fold out any hand that's ahead, but I can fold out hands that have a lot of equity against me, and that was the reason why I made that continuation bet, and it worked. So yeah, we haven't been involved in huge pots. I think we've done all right so far. It's quite fun to play these regular tables, a lot less fast-paced, even though I'm two-tabling. I mean, I say even though I'm two-tabling. I know other players play like 27 tables, but it's fun to actually just indulge and see what the others are doing. And we do have one recreational player at each table, so that is very nice to see. So let's see, 7-8 suited. I will not go for the 3-bet in this case, just folding. And same with 9-8 offsuit. Ooh, and here we have a 3-bet from the passive recreational player. And a 4-bet from the button, a snap call. Low SPR. Let's see what this one is. Okay, pocket fives. I can't really set mine, unfortunately. I would love to, but not against 4x. And look at this one, aces versus nines. Yeah, now, unfortunately, we might lose our friend here to our left. And he got his money back, the money that he lost earlier with kings against his sixes. And now he got the money back with aces against nines. And yeah, as I feared, he is gone. Sadly, and he's getting replaced by a reg. Okay, I am going to open pocket fours. This is a low frequency raise in the hijack. We are effectively the hijack because this player wasn't in the hand. But you see, if you can just take down the blinds, then you can open anything. Yeah, so this player has left straight away. He was probably on the waiting list just to play against the player that he ended up replacing. Oh, here, kings versus queens. That's an ugly one. That is an ugly one. I feel sorry for the queens. Oh, no, now I feel sorry for the kings. But he cashed out, so didn't lose too much. And it's good that this player is staying in. Okay, ace a7. This will be a range bet kind of thing. Going for a small one, like quarter pot or so. Ace 3 suited on the right, I will defend. And that's a pretty good flop for us. On the left table, I am going to 3-bet. And on this one, I'm going to raise 7.6. And on the right and on the left, both times we get folds. Excellent. So yeah, there is a lot of confusion about how to play flush draws. And in general, if I have a hand like the one I had, like the nut flush draw, then if I'm in position, I tend to just call, but if I'm out of position, I like to false play them. I like to get them off whatever they have, because also if I am in position, I can just control the pot and just the hand much better. I still might have some showdown value with the ace high flush, whereas if I'm out of position, I just want to fast play it. And fast playing not in the sense that I'm winning, because obviously I'm bluffing, but I'm happy to just get him off, because the thing is, if I hit my flush on the river, I would have to donk most of the time to make money. So I just prefer to have the initiative, whereas if I'm in position, that doesn't matter, because I can, if I hit the flush on the river, I can either bet or raise depending on what he does. But if I'm out of position and I check and he just checks behind, then that's a bit sad. Queen 9 suited, we can raise. This is another one that's actually no, because we're hijack, it's not even a low frequency one, it's a high frequency raise. So that's fine. And we haven't faced a lot of 3-betting in these games, surprisingly. Like, now that I'm saying it, I just jinxed it. And the button does 3-bet, and this is an easy fold now. But yeah, I think because I'm used to playing the Zoom games where 3-betting happens all the time. There's so many ranks that 3-bet that I kind of am used to that, but that's good practice for this. And here, obviously, we are going to 3-bet with our pocket queens on the left. And we get called. This is now a board that we can either bet big or check, and I am going to bet this one quite big, because we have a lot of hands that don't connect with this board. So in the big blind, you basically, sorry, just on the right, I'm going to fold 7-3 off. So if you 3-bet in the big blind, you rarely want to go with a small bet. You don't have range bets because you have such a polarized 3-betting range. So I had pocket queens there, but I could have had Jack 6, for example, or something like that. Here I'm tempted to call with 8-5 off, but I won't do it. So yeah, if I have Jack 7 or 10, 7 or something like that there, then in this case, yes, the 7 would have connected because I think there was 8-7-3 was the board, yeah. But still, in general, there are a lot of hands that don't connect well. Also, some lot of Ace X hands. So that's why if you see bet, and you shouldn't see bet everything, if you see bet, then you have to see bet big. Pocket kings, and this time, unfortunately, no action with the kings. Well, look at this. This guy had ace jack. Ace 5 off, I'm going to fold. So what happened here? King 8 and ace jack, and right. So folding jack deuce, folding 7 deuce, folding 9-4. So yeah, look at this. We've played 14-7 on the right and 22-22 on the left. Not proud of that, but what can I do? I did not really have the hands to do that. Or to do what? To play, yeah, to play ace 4 suited. This might be 1, 2, 3 bet with. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. The only problem is that this guy is fairly short stacked, but I can still, yeah, I can still squeeze this one. I can go to 14 big blinds. And hoping to see folds, obviously. Definitely hoping to not see a raise. So it's good that the preflop raiser folded. And if he calls, then he has a lot of pocket pairs in his range, but he does not call, so that is very good news. Queen 8 suited, definitely a fold. A deuce suited, definitely a fold. Okay, here we have a 3-bet in the big blind. And in general, you can remember this, big blind tends to under bluff 3-bet. So if you see a 3-bet from the big blind, I would rather be on the side of thinking that it's probably more value than a bluff, unless he's a maniac, of course. But in general, most players just don't find the correct polarized bluffs, and instead, not polarized bluffs, but polarized range with bluffs and value, and they only bet for value, or not only, but too much for value, and that's why you can usually overfold to 3-bets from the big blind. Queen deuce suited looks nice, not good hand. And we have a limp and a raise. So yeah, how are we doing in these games? 8-9 will be a fold. On the left table, we're winning $7. On the right table, we're losing $1. So that's okay. Ace King is a trouble hand, but actually I do like it. 7 deuce, we wouldn't even call anything smaller, let alone a 4 big blind raise. Okay, we get called by 2 players. We do not have much going for us. We're a monkey in the middle. I think we can just check. And here I will fold, even though this player, no, I will raise now, and he just folds. Good. I will. This is a half pot bet. Okay, let's peel. because we do hit our top pair. Let's see if this has any reverse implied odds, because the thing is, I'm gonna jam now, because I think if he has a queen or so, he might still fold, but he won't bet it on the river anyway. And if he has a set or so, I will still pay him off. So I'm just gonna jam this one. Yeah, well, oh gosh, he had pocket queens. Wow, look at this. This is a prime example of reverse implied odds. I mean, I considered folding on the flop on the queen 5-3, and then I thought, well, no, he only bet half pot. He is a bit of a fish. He could be a merger range. I'll just peel here with my ace king. Then I hit the ace straight away, and then I can't get away from it. And yep, then I'm losing 30 big blinds. So this was really a shame. I could have gotten away from it on the flop, not after the flop. And as I said, there is no point in check calling the turn and then check calling the river, because it's unlikely that he would bluff the river or merge it. So like everything that I beat, he kind of calls, and then he checks behind, sorry, and if he doesn't, here I'm just gonna raise, because this player is so tight that it's 6 out of 6 now for in the big blind, so I can just raise anything for auto profit. But yeah, so could I have just check called the turn and then check folded the river? Maybe that would have been the play to make, but I thought because he was so short, I just didn't think that I could get away from top pair, top kicker. This was basically like in a tournament, and that was the reason why I just jammed myself on the turn. Queen 10 I would have raised, but not continuing against the raise. So yeah, quite a shame. We were doing so well. We were doing well, and now we're losing. Just because of that one hand. I will have a look in the solver afterwards to see. But although I don't think solver will help me, because it was a three-way hand. But yeah, I mean, going not even broke, because he only had 30 big blinds, but ace king versus queens is fine anyway. It's just unlucky, but it's just a bit annoying, because I could have folded the flop, but I just figured I just never imagined that he would be that strong. First of all, I didn't think he would just flat call queens, and secondly, I didn't think that he would then even bet a set of queens. Seven four, I can't continue, so obviously having to fold. A6, not a hand I will continue with. So, what's happening? Yeah, 9-7 suited. I can definitely raise this one. And we just take down the blinds. Okay, so I am going to wrap it up after this orbit on both tables. Jack 4 suited is basically just outside the raising range, but definitely not in the continuing range anyway. So yeah, this will have been my last hand on the right table, and on the left we have 3 more hands. This is interesting. He makes it 3.4. I have King Jack. I still have to raise. I'll make it 11. I'm not loving life when he makes it 3.4x, but then again, I just don't want to fold. And I don't really know this player. Straight flush draw, not the worst. And he now donks for half pot. Is there merit in just going big and getting it in? I think there might be, but I don't think I can get him to fold anything big, so I will just call and just take my equity from here. Because like whatever he has, I have decent equity, which I'm not going to squander now because I want to see a river, and unfortunately we break even though we had so many outs. And now the question is, can I get him to fold an ace? Maybe if I jam. But the other question is, what could he have? The problem is I don't think I have that much showdown equity. So, but I think I will need to just check and give up and lose. No, I don't lose. He had Queen Jack. Look at this, amazing. I thought I would lose because I just didn't think what could he have donked with there. But I mean, he clearly isn't a great player. Donked 3-bet pot with Queen Jack off on Ace King Queen. Was it Ace King Queen? It was Ace King Queen. And did he really have Ace? Yeah, he had Queen Jack off. So he also called. Right, so I can also say called 3-bet out of position with Queen Jack O after raising to 3.5x. So yeah, this is all very interesting. And now we're sitting out on both tables, so we can leave this now. And thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about this format, and I might do it again. Thank you. Bye.